Respiratory diseases causes the greatest problem. You've already got an animal that is struggling to cope with its health issues, and when you bring on this high humidity and their inability to dispose of heat, they're the cattle that suffer the most.
Well, we believe the most vulnerable cattle are our sick cattle, the cattle that are in the hospital. They're the ones that have a compromised respiratory system, and they're obviously the most susceptible cattle in our yard. The other group of cattle we believe are highly susceptible are our unacclimatised cattle. We have a number of cattle, black cattle, arrive here from down south, Tasmania and King Island, and they're probably the most susceptible cattle that we've found. They arrive after a 12 to 16 hour trip, and usually dehydrated, and can arrive here with temperatures around 40 degrees. So they've come from a very cool climate and put in a yard at 40 degrees, and they get severely knocked around. I believe in terms of transport that cattle shouldn't be shipped when there's a heat load event occurring. I think that's one of the easiest things to manage. Obviously, keeping cattle movements to a minimum, stopping movements within the feedlot, it can be easily managed. The stress and the travel is probably one of the big factors. These cattle are knocked around through transport stress. The acclimatised issue is another problem. Just physically coming from a cool climate into a hot, dry climate, then trying to find the water trough in the pen, sort out their pecking order. It's all a very stressful first 24 hours in a feedlot.
The younger cattle are certainly the most susceptible. As far as breed goes, I think we've found that maybe the Herefords are a little bit more susceptible. But any of the cattle that we pull from south of us, especially the more coastal areas, they're very susceptible to the heat in that they've never been acclimatised to the heat that even we get.
The Bos Indicus cattle, they cope extremely well with even the harshest of conditions. There is no doubt that your long-fed British cattle certainly benefit from having shade. It's been my observation that mostly stressed animals that have come from far away from the environment to where they've been brought in, particularly cattle that have come from a cooler climate. British bred type cattle are probably more susceptible than your Brahman or Bos Indicus type cattle. And of course your health compromised cattle. They're the ones that really are the ones that you most worry about with a heat load event coming on.